Hello data lovers, it is Merdad. Welcome to my channel and another episode of Azure Data Fundamentals course where we explore relational and non-relational databases. If you haven't watched the other episodes, there is a playlist in my channel for this course. So let's dive into my slides and see what this episode offers to us. In the previous slides, we found that organizations store their data either in file stores or in databases. We have already covered the file stores. Now let's see what does a database do for us. So let's define the databases like this. Databases are a central system to store the data and query them. In the other words, it is a dedicated system for managing data rather than files that we have explored before. And it is going to be basically a collection of entities. So we learned that a list of customers, for example, is some sort of entity, and a collection of these entities is going to make a database for us. There are two types of databases that are relational databases and non-relational databases. For relational databases, it is basically designed for structured data that we have a fixed schema for the tables, and the data is going to be stored as tables per entity. For example, we have the entity for customers. As you can see in the image, we have a table for customer, a table for products, a table for order. And one of the signs of the relational databases is the identical records that for each record of, let's say, a table like customer, there is an ID value that is going to make each individual record of customers identical. We call it primary key. That is very crucial here. That is basically one of the steps in normalization. What is normalization in relational database concept? It is some sort of activities and actions that we do against a database and a data set to just normalize that, to prevent any duplication, to make sure of the data consistency, and so on and so forth, that we will explore that and talk more about that normalization in the other session. But here, as you can see, we have an ID for customer, and that ID of customer is used in another table here, which is called order. So we are not going to put the customer name every individual time for our orders, but rather we reference the customer ID in the order table. So this relationship is basically going to make our database as relational, that we can just reference a record in a second table. The last thing that I want to mention about the relational databases is how we can manage and query the data that is stored in these tables, that we can use structured query language or SQL to work with data and just manage the database itself. We have non-relational databases that they don't apply the relational schema to the data like that, like what we had in a relational database. And they are often referred as NoSQL databases. However, the SQL are usable in some of them to query the data. Some common type of non-relational databases are key value databases, document databases, column family databases, and graph databases. Let's just explore each of them. For the first one, key value databases, it is basically contain a unique key and which is associated with a value to that. For example, in the image that you can see, we have a collection data of products that we have a key and we have a value. For the key, we can just look at it as an index. For example, a key of 1 to 3, we can just find it and see the value of hammer, for example. We also have document databases that it is a specific type of key value, but more complex and more matured one, that the data is often stored in JSON format. That we can see we have a collection of customers, for example, but the value of each record is going to be stored as JSON. The next type of non-relational databases is column family databases. So basically the data is stored in a tabular format, but you can divide the format, the group of columns and having separated them into a logically related together. Those columns can be just related together logically. As an example, we can say we have a list of orders and we have a subgroup of, actually we have a group of column family like customers, and underneath of customers we have a group of columns for name and address. And the last non-relational database that we have here is graph databases, where actually the entities are going to be stored as nodes and which are having a link to the other nodes to define the relationship between them. A good example for graph databases, we can just refer to Active Directory and how a user is going to be defined and managed in Active Directory. Thank you for watching this video. If it was helpful for you and you liked it, just give me a thumbs up and just add your comments if you have any suggestion, any question regarding what we discussed, and just share it with your friends. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, just subscribe and to be notified for the next episodes that are going to be released. The next episode is going to be related to the processing of data for both transactional and analytical data. Until the next video, take care.